do you know if you're with the one? Well, I don't believe there are any rules, and really it's a personal decision. What I've seen from working with hundreds of women in their love lives is that there are certain signs that point to someone being the one and signs that point to someone not being a good match for the long term. I'm Nicole Moore, love coach and founder of LoveWorks, and in this video I'm going to share with you the top 3 ways to tell that a man is the one. And stay tuned until the end because I'm going to give you access for free to my Ready for the One video series. Here's the #1 way to tell that a man is the one. The feelings get consistently better over time. So when you're with the one, it feels like this consistent and constant expansion. Now it might start off with a bang, or maybe it's a little bit of a slow simmer, but the key distinguishing factor in the one relationship is the consistency of feelings on both sides. So there isn't usually a ton of push-pull or a big intensity of feelings and then a dropping off. Now, if the closer you get and the more feelings you develop and the more feelings that there are there, the more he pulls away or the worse the feelings get, that may be a sign that you're with a wound mate or a drama relationship rather than being with the one. Here's a mistake that a lot of women make. They only pay attention to how they felt at the beginning of the relationship. Then they get hooked on the connection or the fantasies that they have about him without looking at, have those feelings actually been reciprocated over time, consistently, and has the connection truly developed over time, not just from their own feelings, but also his as well. So, the main feeling you want to also be looking for is not just consistent feelings, but a consistent sense of underlying peace. Love with the one does feel exciting, intense, and passionate, of course, but not crazy making. There's this quiet sense of peace and bliss underneath everything else. You could call it a remembrance, you could call it a soul connection. Usually there's this feeling of familiarity, like you've known each other for a long time, but your feet are on the ground. So you're not high in the clouds, you're not this crazy person hooked on hits of his attention and you're falling back down to the ground when you don't have his attention and then you're up in the clouds when you do. If you're in that kind of relationship where it's push-pull, super dramatic, you feel super needy and craving of his attention without him reciprocating it fully, then I'm sorry to tell you, but that man is probably not the one, or he's got some serious walls up and some serious fears that he needs to clear on his own in order to be available for true love with you. Here's the #2 way to tell that a man is the one. You become more of who you are as a result of being together, and he does too. You both keep growing because of the relationship. You're stronger in who you are because of the relationship. The both of you are this united front facing challenges together versus the internal relationship being the source of the problems all of the time. If he's not the one, or if he's stuck in his own shit, what you're going to find is that you're going to keep growing and progressing. If you're watching this video, you're a woman who likes to grow, but he might stay the same. Now, where women get confused if they're into personal development especially and making things work is they can work on themselves and work on themselves without stopping to consider, is he growing and working on himself too? This can be especially true in the case of women who date unavailable men. They get hooked on, let me change myself, then I can change him. If I just do this, if I just change this, I'm gonna make him all better. And now, that's not always the case. So men sometimes do have slower emotional processing time. Their process looks a little bit different. So it's not that he's going to be going to personal development workshops all the time like maybe you do. But the key is, in the relationship, is he growing as a result of being with you, or is he staying stuck in his old patterns? He's the one if he grows with you, and he's not if you grow but he stays stuck. Here is the #3 way to tell that someone is the one. He doesn't require you to change who you fundamentally are to be with him. In fact, he celebrates who you are. He values it. He believes in you, and he sees how amazing you are. and you feel the same way about him. Now, caveat here. I mean, when you show the real self to him, not the fear-based self, not the crazy town one, right? When you show your real self to him, does he love it? When he shows his real self to you, do you love that person too? Do you love his being? And does he love that in you? And not just do you love him, but do you really, really like him as a person, and does he feel the same way about you? Now, in a wound mate or a drama-filled relationship with a man who isn't the one, you can have a lot of love for someone, you can have a lot of connection with someone, but ultimately there's a big clash in personalities or values or commitment level. And while the one is not a carbon copy of you, what you'll find when you're with the one is that there's this sense of ease that comes from both of you truly being on the same page. So do not make the mistake of thinking that love is all you need. Love is the foundation, of course, but if he's the one, that means you don't just have love and you don't just have a connection, but you also have true compatibility and a deep sense of liking and respecting who the other person is. So to recap, here is what you're looking for. Consistent development and progression of feelings over time instead of highs and lows, or one person comes close and the other person pulls away. Consistent growing together instead of you doing all of the emotional work and he stays stuck in fear or insecurity or love avoidance or non-commitment. And consistent compatibility instead of having an amazing time some of the time, but then some of the other time you're really misaligned or you're fighting or even just hating each other. Those are the keys. The consistency is the key to tell if someone is the one. Now, if after watching this you're like, okay, I want the one relationship, I don't want the other ones that you've described, I want you to do this now. Go to the description below and get access to my Ready for the One live event, where I'll be sharing 3 videos with the 3 keys to find the one now. And did you like this video? If you liked it, like it here. Go ahead and leave me a comment. I want to know your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.